Francis Gashuri, Public First News.
All right, and we want to continue with that conversation this morning, so I'll quickly hand you over to Willis Raburu, who's hosting the Kakamega Senator, Honorable Bonny Khalwale. Willis?
Thank you very much, Kirigo. Of course, like you saw there, the contents of the MoU have been revisited. We want to put that and many more things in perspective, and Kakamega Senator Bonny Khalwale joins us. Good morning, and thank you so much for making time for us. The first question is something that you said while at a rally during the time in Kakamega, Bungoma, I think, where you said katika code kuna mpangilio, lakini ukiwa ndani ya code lazima ujipange. Maybe what did you mean by that?
It was just a statement to make it clear to the Fort Kenya fraternity that one, they should not look like they are being invited, or they have been invited into court, and therefore they have to be organized, to be arranged on how they fit there. But they should go there knowing that they are equal to the other partners in court, demand for their space, and ensure that that space is equal to the space occupied by the others. Because in politics is competition.
Yes. And
that competition, it is the art of working with others with the ultimate aim of making sure that those others help you to be number one. So if you don't jostle, you can be there for 20 years, forever, and you will never be number one. I'm therefore not surprised that upon my declaration that I'll be running on Fort Kenya, it seems to have ruffled a few feathers. I'm used to this because everywhere I've been politically, I always ruffle the feathers.
Yes.
But thankfully, with good results.
So then, speaking about this MoU, there are people who are saying that the MoU was not, I mean, now that, like you said, you'll be running on Fort Kenya, and in the MoU, Fort Kenya seems to have got, for lack of a better word, the shorter end of the stick based on the contents of the MoU. Then what is the next move going forward for, do you think, should be the next move going forward for the party and for CORD?
Let me make it clear that I've never read that MoU.
Okay.
I was not part of it for the reason that I was not in court at that time. But the fact that the MoU, the way it was, it allowed court to go to the election, it means it was a good MoU. However, I want to appeal to Senator Orengo and Senator Modama, my colleagues and friends, that good as it was, that does not mean it cannot be better. So this is the time to make it better, and this is the time to take advantage of it being better, to the extent that the performance of the coalition in regions where traditionally Fort Kenya would be seen to be strong, that making it better will then allow the coalition to completely sweep all the votes in that region. Yes.
And like the Kiminini Member of Parliament, Chris Omanga, said that MoUs are flexible, and like you say, there needs to be some jostling for Fort Kenya, and your party leader, if you choose to, you said you're running for Kenya, the party leader is said to be angling for a way to leave the party. What happens if, for one reason or another, he leaves, or will he leave, or what is the position? What is the status now?
The way the politics of CORD have evolved, it is now a symbiotic relationship. Whether the departure or staying of one or more members would automatically affect the other one. It is symbiotic. So it is in the interest of all the three parties that this symbiotic relationship is nurtured. I am very close to Senator Wetangula, very, very close, and I know for a fact that he is not about to leave. In fact, if anything, he would be the one to be surprised to see that anybody is leaving. Yes. So then,
do you trust CORD, or do you believe that there is anybody who is being shortchanged?
In politics, there's no question of, there is no doubt that people should change others. It has happened over time. This is not the first time I'm part of a coalition building. I remember we had a very strong coalition called NAC, and partners were shortchanged. And therefore, if the fear is that somebody might shortchange for Kenya, that fear is real. However, you are shortchanged because you have not secured your space, and therefore my famous saying, "Msipochipanga, mtapangwa." So I'm simply saying we must therefore secure our space in Fort Kenya, and fortunately for us, Wetangula and I are no longer greenhorns in politics. We cut our teeth a long time ago, and we know how to face our colleagues in ODM squarely, Wiper squarely, and get what we deserve. And it's not very difficult, really. Yes.
What about the other luminaries like Wiper, for example, who they are the subject of discourse right now, because there's Wiper and Fort Kenya that are both being told, in your words, wajipang and something to be done. So where do you place Wiper in all this, and the core principal, Kalonzo Musyoka?
I can't speak for Wiper, neither can I speak for ODM, nor speak for COD. Why I'm able to speak like this is my own perception of the dynamics of the politics of COD, and secondly the fact that I'm very close to Senator Wetangula.
Yes.
That's why I'm speaking authoritatively in this aspect. As for Wiper, I have had regular meetings with Mudama, Wiper MPs, and specifically His Excellency the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka had a meeting as recently as the day before yesterday. We had a 2-hour meeting at the former Grand Regents Hotel, purely on this. And I have no doubt that just like Fort Kenya, Wiper would also want to be respected, want to be seen to be an equal partner, and want to be seen to be having a presidential candidate who is equal to the task and enjoying an equal opportunity to become the flag bearer. Personally, if Wetangula became the flag bearer of COD, I would be extremely happy. And then I will have something to write back home to the community, and something worth writing back to the party generally in the whole country. However, if he was to lose to Raila, I would be the first to start campaigning for Raila. And if it is Kalonzo who is a flag bearer, I will do exactly the same. And therefore, even if somebody is reluctant, be it Raila or Kalonzo, we're going to impress upon them that Wetangula is equal to the task, and let the Kenyans decide. How are Kenyans going to decide? They'll do so through an agreed primary, be it through delegates, universal suffrage, or boardroom decision.
Now people say that this is all part of a strategy, because at the end of the day there is the notion that come rain, sunshine, it has almost been in the past, like automatically the flag bearer will be former Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
Yes.
So is that the scenario? Is there, for lack of a better word, is there real democracy in your view? Or is this just playing politics?
My reading is this, that until recently it was very clear on the minds of many Kenyans that Raila was a front runner and not an outright winner. However, events taking place after Senator Wetangula launched indicate very clearly that that assumption is subject to questioning, because you can see a seasoned politician like Orengo. He was visibly jittery on TV when he was talking about the MoU, and therefore wanting to suggest that the MoU must be respected, which means that Raila will be the automatic candidate. It means they had seen Wetangula, the sleeping lion, seems to look like he is going to roar and pose a serious challenge. I want to calm them. This is internal party democracy. And if the US campaign is anything to learn from, even some of the most unlikely candidates can end up being the people's candidates. According to the home course of the Republican Party, Donald Trump had no chance, but he has remained leading because the people are the ones who are ultimately deciding. So the people might ultimately decide, and you find that in COD, the candidate of choice is Senator Wetangula. We would have to live with it, because the people will have spoken. Yep.
Right now, speaking of roaring, you said you're going to do some roaring of your own in Kakamega, and
yes.
there've been open infighting because it's still in the same party between you and the current governor,
yes,
Wycliffe Oparanya.
Yes.
Maybe you could comment about that situation.
Let me tell you, the first time I made it formal that I'm now in court, and in the process I was even given an opportunity to be the chairman of the County Public Account and Investment Committee in the Senate. Believe me, Governor Oparanya actually treated me to a cup of tea in his office, and I could see it in his eyes. He thought, now that this guy is here, and now any competition from outside is not there, we are now in one team. I'm going to be the governor and he's going to be the senator. Will remain that way until after the election of 2017. He was very happy. And now when I went on and indicated that I was going to run for governor, he was not challenged at all, because he knew that the machinery within CORD was in his favor. I was an outsider, so they were going to Nipanga. Little did he know that I had no intention of running on ODM, because I knew in ODM the delegates don't know me. So if we were to go for primaries, the chances of losing to him were very high. But now that I've announced that I'm running on Fort Kenya, he has completely gone, I don't know whether to say basak, but the things he's doing suggest so. So that noise that people are hearing is not because we are enemies, but it's because that he knows, having come into court and strategically entered through Fort Kenya, the competition is going to be very stiff. I'm not saying I'll defeat him, but he also knows that he cannot say that he'll defeat me. Yes.
So it's not uncertain, it's a match, and may the best man win.
Yes.
And finally, what are your thoughts just going forward? Because there's going to be a lot has been said by the Jubilee. In fact, just yesterday, the government saying that the detractors, the statement that was made also by the former Prime Minister about the ICC, definitely is going to form a lot of discourse now, because he said that there is need for the ICC, otherwise leaders will not be held to account. And definitely there's going to be some reactions today and moving forward to Saturday for that. Maybe what are your views on the same? This could be individually, I think individually, yes. Yeah, I am entitled to my opinion. Yes. And my opinion is as follows. I'm hoping that before Saturday, Jubilee will drive the process so that it is clear that the rally in Afra will be about launching of the Jubilee intention of recapturing the presidency or something else. But if it is about prayers for the deputy president and the president, then that is the most misguided thing that the leadership of this country should do. Because at the moment, it is not Uhuru or Ruto who deserve or need prayers. The people who need prayers at this time are the victims of the post-election violence. So if they go ahead and package that function as being a prayer rally, it will be tantamount to dancing on the graves of those who lost their lives during the post-election violence. They should stop it. Let them go ahead and do other things other than prayers. If they want prayers, let them do it quietly. They can choose to do it jointly in Sugoi, the deputy president's home, or in Gatundu, the president's home. They should not laugh at the seriousness of the fact that the victims of post-election violence felt that they did not get justice at the ICC. Secondly, on the issue of pulling out of the ICC, that is foolhardy. That is insurance. The presence of Kenya and other African countries in the ICC is insurance against some unscrupulous politicians who would want to revisit Kenya with what we saw in 2007, 2008. Let it stay there so that it serves as a deterrent. People should go into elections knowing that they just cannot want to kill everybody. And why it is even more important now is, if you saw during the Kericho by-election
how the governor of Kericho, the governor of Kericho and Bomet managed to lock the deputy president of Kenya out of a venue in Kericho. If you saw what happened at Muliro Gardens, where Governor Oparanya actually lobbed tear gas at us, it shows that we are going to have 47 possible hotspots where every governor will want to protect his fiefdom. I even don't know whether we shall have enough police officers to contain those 47 hotspots. So it is important that even governors know that ICC is there. That the things that Oparanya did in Muliro Gardens, which to me were warlike activities, those are things that have got the potentiality of going to the Hague. So we need ICC. Today, the people who are supporting it is because they feel that they are on top of things. But let them be warned that you never know. Things change. The shoe might go to the other foot. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Senator Bonny Khalwale giving his thoughts on the MoU, and also finally, in case you just joined, the ICC matters, and we'll continue to discuss more on this. Of course, it's definitely going to form matter of discourse, and we'll be able to give you those comprehensive stories as and when they happen. For now, though, we hand you over back to Kuri.